For those of you who don't know me, my name is Maya Merchant, and I'm traveling with Down Under Sports to compete in an international golf tournament in Australia. And I thought that I would document my experience, either for those who contributed and helped me to get where I am now, to be on this trip, or are just curious about my experience. So I thought I would take you along. Let's go! So currently I'm about to leave for the airport. It's about 3:25 and my flight leaves at about 6, and so I'm on my way and I'm all checked in. Don't really know how to vlog, so this is gonna be an adventure. Okay, so I'm currently in the process of editing this whole video all together and putting all the clips I have from my trip together into a video so you guys can watch it. But I realized that while I was there, I didn't do a lot of talking and explaining what I was filming. So I'm gonna have this little video kind of going through and explaining what I did on my trip, essentially, because while I was there, I was sort of in the moment. I didn't really want to pull out my camera and just film, especially if I was around other people, because I wouldn't know if they would be comfortable with me pulling out my camera and talking, and I was having some nice conversations with people and I didn't really want to, pull out my camera and start filming that. I just felt that that was a little bit intrusive of other people's maybe personal space or maybe what they were comfortable with. So instead, I'm going to kind of come on here and explain what I did now that I'm back. And so, my camera keeps sliding. Okay, we're just gonna go like this. So the first day, it was a super long day. I flew I'm from Wisconsin. Repping my home state. But I live right on the border of Minnesota, so I flew out of Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport, and I flew to Los Angeles. So my mom took me to my gate, and then that's when I parted ways with my parents. So I flew all the way to Los Angeles by myself, and then I didn't actually meet up with Down Under, the company I'm traveling with, until I got to the Tom Bradley International Terminal in LA and at the gate, and not even really with my coaches or anyone until I was in Australia. So I was kind of on my own, and it was a bit of an adventure. So I got to LA and I had to, pick up my bags because I was unfortunately unable to check my bags all the way through to Australia because I flew Delta to Los Angeles and I flew Qantas to Australia. And so I had to pick up my bags at baggage claim, and then I had to walk so far to the international terminal in Los Angeles. But then I checked my bags in there and I went through security and everything. That was a bit of a hectic process, especially traveling alone as a 15-year-old girl, and I was a little stressed out about that. It was about 11 p.m. at the time, so it felt like 1 a.m. from Wisconsin time. And so that was a little hectic, but I got through that. I met with some people at the gate. I actually met some of the people I'd be competing with at the gate in Los Angeles, which was a little comforting for me, so I know I at least had a friendly face once I got to Australia. But then I got on my flight. It's about 15 and a half going there, so that was an incredibly long flight. I'd actually never been on a flight so long, so that was it wasn't fun to say the least. I luckily was able to sleep a bit, but this is probably not what people want to hear. They're like, oh, you went to Australia, let me tell you about Australia instead of the travel day, but I'll get there. I just thought that maybe with people who are interested in traveling with Down Under, they'd like to know what the travel days are like, just because, if you aren't traveling with your parents, it can be kind of challenging or can be kind of scary to think about traveling by yourself. So as soon as I got to Brisbane, I flew to Brisbane from Los Angeles, and I had to go through customs, and being not a resident of Australia, the customs process can be kind of weird, and I especially had a bit of a tough time getting through customs. It took me almost an hour to get through customs, and I was by myself because I still hadn't met up with the coaches and like my tour guide for the trip, so I was kind of on my own going through customs. But it was fine. I had a bit of a tough time getting through customs just because I'm not a resident of Australia, but other than that, I didn't have any issues with my travel to Australia. But then, as soon as I got through customs, I met up with my coaches. I had four coaches. I had 2 guy coaches. Their names were John and Frank, and then I had 2 female coaches who were Megan and Judy. And I met up with all of those people as soon as I got through customs, and we all met together. And then I had a wonderful tour guide named Ray, who I also met up with as soon as I got to the meeting area in Brisbane. So as soon as we left the airport, our mode of transportation the whole entire trip was these big tour buses kind of thing, and just because we were traveling with a large group of people, that we just needed a big bus to transport all the people. And so we got on the bus and we went to this lookout point in Brisbane. I kind of have a later clip explaining that too. But we got to drive through Brisbane and see some of the sights there. And we got to this lookout point that is, I think, one of the highest points in Brisbane, and you can see the whole skyline. And I will insert a clip of that. And it was just really beautiful. I was actually kind of surprised at how cold it was in the morning. It was probably 45, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously not Celsius because that'd be very warm. And it was I was quite chilly that morning, but it was super beautiful. You could see there's almost mountains surrounding Brisbane, and even where I was staying in Surfers Paradise. And then there was also, you of course could see the ocean because we were right on the coast of Australia. And so after that we left to drive to Surfers Paradise, and along the way we were able to stop at little parks and kind of walk around, get some fresh air. They stopped by the ocean. We went to a couple places and they explained some of we stopped by a marina where they bring in most of the fishing boats, and we were just some basic information about the area we were essentially given, and that was kind of cool. And then we drove all the way to Surfers Paradise, which is about an hour and 15 minutes south of Brisbane, and we actually went to a different hotel than where we were staying to have an orientation. At the time, there were 3 sports traveling to Australia with Down Under. There was golf, volleyball, and basketball. And so they got us all into a big conference hall or banquet hall and gave us a little bit of an orientation. We had brunch, and yeah, that was pretty much that morning. And then we drove to our hotel, which is only another 5 minutes from where we had our orientation, and we were staying at the Novotel in Brisbane, and I have a clip of my hotel room, or the view from my hotel room. I got very fortunate and I got a view of the ocean, which was very cool. And I wanted to kind of explain the structure of I wasn't actually in a room by myself. I had a roommate with me, and I was very fortunate. I had a great roommate. She's from Arizona. I enjoyed spending time with her. But yes, each person was either given 1 or 2 roommates, except if you were traveling with a parent or like an aunt or grandparent or anything like that, you could stay with your supporter. But I was traveling by myself, so I was given a roommate, and yeah, we had a beautiful room. The hotel was super nice. We had a pool and a tennis court, and it was really close. It was 3 minutes from the beach walking, and all around are some great restaurants and things to do. There was a bowling alley, an arcade, just a lot of activity, a mall. There's a lot of activities for, teenagers, because each night we essentially had a few hours to do whatever we would like to do, whether that is hang out and get some rest or go hang out with friends, go bowling. I did that one night. It was really fun. But yeah, so that first day, checked in, got all our things together. I met my roommate. I got a little unpacked, and I changed clothes, and I just rested for a bit, because in the evening we went to a place called Kangaroo Fields, which is a place in the wild where you can just go and see kangaroos. And yeah, you can go and see kangaroos and some koalas. There's a beautiful boardwalk with all these like melaleuca trees. I have quite a few clips that I can put in here of that.
Sounds good.
We were very respectful of the wildlife, though. We made sure that we were respectful and didn't intrude on their space and everything, because I know for me that's a very important thing. When I see that you can go out in the wild and see animals, I'm like, are people making sure that you are being respectful of their space and everything? So we were, and that was very nice. And that pretty much ended the night. And then the next morning was really early. I woke up about 4:45 because we had a really early tea time, and then had breakfast, went to the course, played 18 holes. It was a super beautiful course, super different environment to what I'm used to, but it was really fun. Just a practice round that day. Our practice round was the course where we would then play the international tournament. So it was the Palmer Gold Coast course, and that was a beautiful course. I have quite a few clips from there that I can put in somewhere in this video. And for me personally, practice rounds, I don't really care too much about how I play. I just care about analyzing the course and how I'm going to execute the tournament the following, I guess it was 2 days in advance. But yeah, for me, practice rounds don't really matter how I play, just as long as I understand what I wanted to do when I start to compete. But it was a beautiful course. I really enjoyed playing it. We were fortunate enough where we got to actually cart the whole entire trip on the course. And so we were matched up we played in foursomes the whole entire trip. So that was the morning of the second day. And then in the afternoon, we went to the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, which I loved. That was one of my highlights of my trip, because we got to hold a koala. I almost cried. It was incredibly precious, and I just adored it. And we got to see kangaroos and feed kangaroos. We got to feed lorikeets. They'd fly all around your head. At one point I had like 2 on my head, and they were just hundreds of them flying all around you. And then we were able to go to all the exhibits and see some of the wildlife that they had there.
Soundstripe.
and that was really cool. And we were able to see an Aborigine, I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Like they put a little show on and showed some of their traditional dances and showed some of their words and tried to share some of their culture with us, which I thought was really interesting. Hello again. As a part of traveling to Australia, I wanted to eat some of the things that people in Australia eat. So, this morning I tried Vegemite, which is, it's like something you put on toast. It's like a thick black paste that Australians put on toast, and the verdict is I really thought it was disgusting. Most people do, at least most Americans, think it's pretty gross, and I have to agree. It's just really salty. I'll put a picture of it in, but it was really salty and I just wasn't a fan of it. But on a different note, as soon as we got to Australia, the company I'm traveling with, Down Under Sports, they gave us little bags of candy, that like Australian candy, so I thought I would show you what we were given. We were given Curly Whirlies, which is, I'm pretty sure it's just caramel and chocolate in like a big strip. We were given some Carmelo koalas. I'm pretty sure that's also just, yeah, just milk chocolate and caramel. We were given Tim Tams, which I already ate because I love Tim Tams. They're just like a chocolate wafer cookie. Well, they come in different flavors. We were given Allen's Minties. Haven't tried this yet. I don't know what it is exactly. A mint, I'd imagine. We were given Allen's Fantails, which is, I hear it's just like a milk dud, for those who know what a milk dud is. And then we were given Aussie Drops in eucalyptus. So, yeah, they're like cough drop kind of things. They're quite good, actually. And then Shapes Originals Mini Chicken Crimpy. Flavor you can see. So, just thought I'd come on and share what we were given. And then today is another practice day. We have a free morning, so it's about 7:30 right now. I'm gonna go down to breakfast and eat something, and then we're gonna go to the beach and just kind of hang out for a few hours. I'm sure you can probably hear the waves in this video because I'm sitting out on the balcony and it overlooks the ocean. I will show that as well. Okay, so the third day was a somewhat of a practice round, but it was more of a fun day. We went to a different course. We went to the Palmer golf course at Emerald Lakes, which was actually a day and night golf course. So we got to play 9 holes. Well, first of all, we were split up into groups of 4, and we got to play a scramble. But for those of you who don't know what a scramble is, it's kind of like you all hit the ball and then you take the best ball. Well, we played best ball, not a scramble. And you take the best ball out of the 4 of you, and then you keep playing until you get in the hole. And essentially, with scrambles, you shoot low. You shoot very low, just because you have 4 opportunities for each shot instead of 1. So yeah, we were split into 4, and we played 9 holes in the daytime, and we had about 30 minutes. We played some fun putting drills and putting games as a group. So a lot of it was team-oriented. They just wanted us to get to know different people, and so you didn't choose your teams, you were assigned teams, and it was really nice. I loved my group. They were all super nice. And then we went out again after it got dark, and because it's winter time there in Australia, it got dark really early. It got dark at like 5:30, And so we were able to go out and play another 9 holes, and there's just lights all over the course, but the rest is black. And it was super cool. There were bats flying all around, but it was really cold, and I was quite chilly that evening. But it was super fun, had a great time. Then we came back, had a little bit of a dinner ceremony. There were some awards given out. Just my team won the best team. We had the best sportsmanship with each other, which go team. And then there's also things, every course we played, there was things like longest drive or closest to the pin, and I unfortunately didn't win any of those, but I still had fun. And yeah, that was the 3rd day. The 4th day was the first day of the international tournament. And first of all, I just want to say it's such a cool opportunity. Like, I adored being able to meet up with these young Australian kids and just talk to them about what their life is like in Australia, and they asked me questions about life in America. And I thought it was just a cool way to learn about different cultures just through golf. Like, playing 18, you're surprised, and I think golfers know this, when you're paired up with a person and you play 18 holes with them, you become close. Like, you're with them for 4 or 5 hours, and the whole time you're talking or you're being encouraging. And so it was really fun for me. I played with 2 guys. One of them was Australian, one of them was United States, and then another girl who was from the United States. And we played 18 holes, and that was the first day of the tournament, and that was really fun. Unfortunately, my whole trip I didn't play maybe as well as I would have wanted, but for me, I put my best foot forward, and I had an exceptional time regardless of my score. And yeah, the first day of the international tournament, that was over, and then we had quite a while where we would just hang out at the course. We had some dinner there, and then I went out with friends that night. We went bowling and went to the beach. I think we might have grabbed ice cream or something, but every night we had a free night, so I just did whatever my friends wanted to do, and it was really fun. The second day of the international tournament was on Friday of my trip, so I landed Monday. This was Friday, and it was really cool. I played with 3 American girls and 1 Australian girl who I really loved. She was super good. She actually won the tournament for girls. She is from Australia, and I loved her. She was super sweet. I just really enjoyed spending time with her, and kind of how I mentioned earlier, just being able to ask questions about what it was like living in Australia, especially that part of Australia, and kind of she got to ask questions about what it was like to travel from the United States and what our perspective was, or what our opinions were about Australia. So that was really special, and I really enjoyed that. And that was both the international tournament days were at the Palmer Gold Coast Golf Course. And yeah, that was another day. We had another pretty long free night just because we only had the international tournament for our scheduled thing in the day. But that took up quite a few hours. That was probably 6 or 7 hours out of our day. So yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. There was a award ceremony, and we parted ways with the Australians, and they won, but it was okay. It was still really fun. They were undefeated, so it's kind of hard to go in there. And these people were very, very good at golf. Saturday was my free day, and I am so grateful that I did what I did, because I went to the Great Barrier Reef, and that was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. I'm not even joking. It almost brought me to tears how beautiful an ecosystem it was, and just how much you hear so much about the Great Barrier Reef being, it's dying, and of course it is, and it's so important that we take a step in protecting this beautiful ecosystem that we have been gifted on this earth. But it was very almost comforting to see I was able to go to the second most protected area in the Great Barrier Reef on the southernmost part of the reef. And I was just really inspired to see how much they were doing, how much this I went to an eco resort on this little island called Lady Elliot Island, and I have tons of clips from this, so I will definitely put them in. But I was inspired to see how much they were doing, how many initiatives they had going. They had coral nurseries. The whole island was completely run on solar, and they were super careful about what you could do and where you could go on the reef, so everything was super protected. And they also were super careful about how much water you use on the island, because you can stay there for up to a week. They're super careful about how much water you can use. I was really happy. On the whole island, I did not see like a piece of plastic or like single-use plastic. I thought that was really interesting. Every meal you eat on the island is all dishes that you reuse and you wash. And they're super careful about like even the chemicals you put on your skin and then you go into the water. Like, you need reef safe sunscreen, and I thought that was just something that was super cool, because I'm kind of a nerd about that kind of stuff. I'm really passionate about protecting the environment, and I think a lot of people who know me personally know that. But that was really, really special for me to see, because that's been a place I've wanted to visit my whole entire life, and it like brings me to tears just thinking about how magical that place was. Like, I have never been to a place so cool, and I could swim there every day and never ever ever get tired of it. We got to see rays and whales, humpback whales and turtles, these beautiful green turtles, and all of these magical fish, and it was such a phenomenal experience that I just could not have asked for a better day. We got to fly on this tiny plane about a little shy of 2 hours and land on this grass strip on this island, essentially in the Pacific. There, you could not see land all around you, and it was just the most phenomenal experience, and I could not have asked for a better time. yeah, that's our free day. Goodbye. And then, unfortunately, the last and final day of my trip was the All-American Tournament. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we had 4 coaches, and each coach was given a group of kids. So I was with Coach Judy, and then Coach Frank, Coach John, and Coach Megan. And so Coach John and Coach Judy were a team. We were the red team. And then there was Coach Frank and Coach Megan, who were the blue team. And essentially, we competed against the colors as a team. And that was fun. We were at a completely different course. None of us had ever played it. None of the coaches had played it. And so we were given maps of the course. It was pretty challenging. There was water in 16 out of 18 holes. And if you're a golfer, you know that that's a lot of water. And that was really, really fun. I really enjoyed that course. It was the Palmer Colonial course, and that was really fun. A completely different group of kids that I'd never played before with had so much fun. I ironically was friends with all of them, so I had become friends with all of them that day, or that trip, the kids I played with that day. And so that was a super, super fun way for me to end the trip. Hello, welcome back. I'm joined here with Aaliyah and Kai over there. Woo-hoo! And tonight is our final night in Australia. We're currently on the beach, and unfortunately, my team lost again. Aaliyah's team here won.
Woo! Go blue!
Yeah, they
I'm kidding,
won.
I'm on red. I lost.
Yeah, I lost too.
I got
It's fine.
participation award.
Yeah, we all got participation awards. Tonight we had a banquet, a goodbye banquet. Just some awards
these
went
cool
around.
Jackets. Did you show them the jackets?
Oh yeah, we all have
nice.
matching
Check out these
jackets.
great jackets.
Mine has Merchant USA Golf on
I
it.
buried my phone in sand.
So yeah, tonight's our last night. We're currently on the beach, kind of just enjoying the view. We had a blast. So signing off for now. I'll take you along my journey heading home, but goodbye.
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Hello everyone, I am officially back from Australia now, and I just wanted to come on here and say a huge thank you to everyone who made a contribution, big or small, or just made it possible for me to go on this trip. I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity, and I just had the most amazing time with Down Under. They were such a great organization to travel with, and I made some great friends who I know I will stay in contact with for quite a while. I had such a cool time playing these courses, and they were a lot different from what I'm used to, but they were incredibly fun and challenging, and I just had the most amazing time. And if anyone is given this opportunity with Down Under to travel, regardless if it's for golf or not, I highly recommend traveling with them. They are an incredible organization, and they're just so organized. Everything is so much fun, and they just put their best foot forward in making sure that you have an incredible trip. So I just wanted to come on here and say thank you again to every person who made it possible for me to go on this trip, and I am forever grateful for you guys, because I had the most incredible time, and it was something I will cherish for the rest of my life. So thank you so much. Signing off. Bye.